Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Doctor. It's another beautiful day out here in the Pacific Northwest, and I'm sure all of you are just like me right now, and you are very hyped for the upcoming week. If you are new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. It is one of the best ways to currently support me. Let's jump into it. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Rain, because if you didn't know, he is coming out on Wednesday, and if you also didn't know, Tower is going to be coming out on Wednesday. So we are getting him actually a couple weeks early, and it is in celebration of the War of the Visions 100-day anniversary. So let's jump into it and let's talk a little bit about Rain. Rain is a Knight of Grand Shelt. He also has access to Sub Red Mage and Sub Knight. He gets access to the weapon Great Sword, and he can only equip hat and clothes and accessories. He is a fire element unit, so he's going to be the first really relevant fire unit to actually enter into the meta. His resistances include nothing to slashing. He gets 15% to missile, which is very cool, 5% to piercing, 25% to magic, but he's staggeringly weak to blunt. Thankfully, we don't have very much blunt attacks currently in global. However, this is going to be something to think about, and whenever I think about this and I think about slashing, I think about physical defense, which we'll also get into later on in this video. He has 20% resistance to ice, which will make him very effective against the new FFBE unit that's coming out, against Medina, against Victoria. He has 10% weakness to water. If you're thinking, oh, I'm going to get my Tyrell in there, kick his ass, don't even. Tyrell's not going to stand a chance against Rain. His master ability is going to provide Spirit plus 15. His stats, his HP comes in at almost 3,000 with an additional 140 and HP plus 15%. Exactly what you would expect from a tank. His attack comes in at 143, his magic at 226. If you're going to want to deal damage with him, you're going to want to focus on his magic stat. He gains an additional plus 36 in magic. An agility of 55 does not get enhanced at all, so his speed is really going to be middle of the road. Dexterity 154, luck 157. The luck is reasonable. It's not going to be anything that's going to make an evasion build out of him, but it's still reasonable. He has a move of 3, a jump of 1. If you go down here to his additional stats, there is actually an error on the global wiki. I'm not sure when it'll be changed, but it says it's plus 3 magic. It's actually plus 36. He gains an additional defense 2, but an additional spirit 8. So if you're keeping track right now, this is spirit plus 23 so far, just in his innate kit. His TMR, Rain's Clothes, is going to offer HP 496 and Spirit 14 if you're still keeping track if he's wearing Rain's Clothes, which, I mean, hopefully he's wearing clothes. That is going to boost his Spirit to 37. I thought that was funnier than clearly it is. The ability of Rain's Clothes is going to give Spirit up to any unit that is around him. Pretty powerful, I would say. And he seems to have a lot of spirit. The one big drawback I'm going to say is that he doesn't have defense. And another thing we're going to talk about, 37 spirit and 25 magic resistance. You also have to think about faith as well, since we're going to be raising his magic stat up to try and deal more damage, which of course you're going to need to raise faith for. But if you're raising his faith, he is going to receive more magic damage. So we're going to talk just a little bit about this later on. Someone, Marcus, who is in our YouTube comments, plays in JP, and he made actually a great observation and actually has a great conversation about Rain. So I'll let it be in his words when we get later on in the video, but just keep that in mind as we're going through all of his abilities right now. He does get access to the Crimson Saber, and this is going to be his best weapon, everyone. It does come with defense down. It also has slash attack up 15, accuracy 5, critical hit 4, attack 80, magical power 170. You do get it by getting to the 20th floor in Tower. if you are free to play, you probably can do this, especially if we get the 24-hour reset on tower. We'll be doing my tower review videos here over the next couple of days and kind of getting you all aware of what's going to be on which floor. But just know, you do have to climb the floors again up to, I believe it's floor 15, in order to have enough materials to max Awaken the Crimson Saber. So do keep that in mind. This is not going to be, Rain is not going to be a unit that's going to be optimal if you are just starting the game, because you're really going to want to have this weapon and grow this weapon. Taking a look at Grand Shelt Knight, Rain is a bit of a complicated unit, and this is the first time we're going to get into sort of the complicated nature of him. You'll notice he has slashing fire modified attacks that are modified by magic, and then you'll notice he has magic modified attacks that are modified by magic. So he's a little interesting in that he does have some slashing modified attacks. You can see here under his subjobs, Undermine is a slashing modified attack. He's interesting. You have to kind of decide if you're going to focus on magic with him in terms of like magic attack up, or if you're going to focus on slash attack. I think more likely than anything, you're going to be focusing on magic up with him. Burning Body, one of his strongest abilities, is going to increase his own ice resistance for 3 turns, and it's going to remove Poison, Darkness, Petrification, or give the resistance. That ice attribute ability resistance is going to be plus 25, so he's going to be very powerful against units like Agrius, Victora. You can think like a lot of the people, or a lot of the ice units that are using their weapons already have ice attack plus on them, so this is an essential ability for him to be able to survive against them. Another prominent ability is going to be Soul Prominence. Targets 3 consecutive magic-dependent damages. So this is going to be a 3-hit strike. And of course, anytime you see a 3-hit strike for all of those chaining missions, this is going to be important. This one is slashing modified, but really a lot of his power comes from his sub-jobs. So if you do sub Grand Shelt Knight, you do get access to the very first global Provoke ability. And this is gonna build a barrier to reduce magic damage on yourself for 3 turns and be easily targeted by enemies. So that's gonna be a 30% magic damage reduction and hate plus 12. This is gonna be the first of its type in global. If you are at all prepared for Warrior of Light, you're gonna know that Warrior of Light comes with a very similar ability, and that it's actually pretty powerful in JP. He also gets access to Undermine here, and Undermine is going to be a very powerful raid utility ability. It's magic damage to target small, an attack for 3 turns, magical power, defense, and spirit down. So if you are at all familiar with Trinity Break, it's essentially Trinity Break, except instead of lowering agility, it lowers defense and spirit. For those of you that were using Yerma's Limit Break in the last raid to lower the stats of the flan so that you could deal more chain damage, this is essentially what Undermine is going to do, and it's the first ability of its type that we have that's a non-limit break that lowers defense and spirit of opponents. This is going to be very powerful in raid, in PvE. You're going to be utilizing this a lot, and even if he's not an element unit that is going to be perfect, he's still going to be valuable in raids for his Undermine ability. Now, his primary sub-job for damage is most likely going to be a Red Mage. He does get access to Cura, Esuna, Sleep, but really the most damaging ability here is going to be Jammer Thrust, which you should all be familiar with for Red Mage subjobs. If you guys are hearing little noises right now, that's my cat dicking around who always likes to ruin my videos. It's going to be target magic damage large with ability cancel, 200% magic damage, and it has very high range. The range is going to make up just a little bit for Rain's lack of movement and jump. And this is going to be his primary damaging ability. And again, because it's his primary damaging ability, Faith is going to be the best way to go with this. Keep in mind, though, that if you do sub Red Mage, you do lack the ability to do that self-generating hate buff, as well as you lose out on that magic damage mitigation for 3 turns as well. So it's kind of a double-edged sword here. I think, though, honestly, if I were using Rain, I would probably go with sub Red Mage and Vow of Love, just so that he has that hate and he can just use Jamming Thrust sort of as a way to, I don't know, I feel like just having him access to sub Red Mage is going to be more powerful than sub Grand Shelt Knight. I did skip over Sub Knight because I think it's most likely you are not going to be pursuing Sub Knight with him. We are going to talk about the passives, but just to give you some perspective, Sub Knight is going to give him access to a whole bunch of break techniques that are going to be very close range. Probably not worth it, especially since he's going to really need to be built for a Magic Plus build to be effective. He does have access to Magic Reflex, Sword Guard, and Counter. He also has access to Initial AP up level 1, Mage Blessing, which is going to increase magic attack resistance, Holy Protection is going to increase debuff resistance, HP up level 1, Spirit up level 1, which is going to give Spirit plus 15. Now remember, he does have Spirit plus 37 if you are using his TMR, plus his Mastery ability and Innate. So an additional plus 15 is going to put him at 52 Spirit total. He also has Intensifying Power, which is going to increase his magic power 30%. Not to mention you could put Mage Blessing on him. So overall, I think he's just going to be a beast of a unit. And I think he's going to be very exciting to build and to use. I don't think he's going to be the most powerful arena unit. I think he's probably going to get picked off pretty easily because he's going to be pretty easily countered. Some cards that I'm going to be looking at for using with him are going to be Ifrit, so that you can get that fire attack plus 10% and that attack plus 50% if you're running with a melee unit. Odin is just a universally good card whenever you have a unit who doesn't particularly fit into the meta of your build. So for example, if Rain's going magic attack and you have maybe some physical attack users in the party, running a composition with Odin in it is going to be very powerful. Similar with the new Mobius of Despair and Truth card, because you get that magic foot plus 15%, but you're also giving shooting attack resistance plus 20 to your allies, so it's not a fully useless card. We're thinking about buffing across the board, right? We're not thinking about just buffing Rain. Vow of Love, going to be very powerful for him, I think. I think it'll be pretty niche to be used on him, but I do think you could have a little bit of advantage here with using Vow of Love and Sub Red Mage. Finally, Seductive Serpent Lamia for that fire attack plus for the party. You're definitely going to be getting Delita soon here in the near future, so it's definitely going to be a viable option. And oh my god, if my cat would stop shaking the whole ottoman and making noise, that would be great. Now, I did talk about Marcus Prime here, guys, and I am just going to go ahead and read the comment that he left on the Rain announcement. Marcus Prime leaves very informative posts in my comment section, and I think he is on the money almost all the time. So let's go ahead and read this here. So everyone is so hyped about Rain. Ever wonder why he is on the lower A tier in the UR list? If you look at Rain's stats, he is wow. Very high HP, very high magic attack, the anti-magic spirit focused build, until you realize that for a magic unit to do lots of damage, you need to have high faith. High faith also means high magic damage received. Rain's spirit focused build will just balance his weakness to magic damage. Good, right? Until you realize that he is left with almost no defense. Most physical damage dealer units will have max 30 faith, which means even if Rain has high magic damage, he will still cause low damage to almost all physical damage dealers. Since Rain also has very low to no defense, he will receive high physical damage. Having it in Orlando or Blingstern and seeing a Rain in Arena means bonus points for me. It's likely a one-hit kill. You want a worthy tanker, someone who can tank both magic and physical damage, also being able to deal massive damage? Look no further than Warrior of Light. So I think this really highlights some of the weaknesses that Rain has, and we'll talk just a little bit about that in his pros and cons here. I would just like to thank Marcus Prime for constantly posting on all of my videos with very informative information. Marcus, I feel like you're a real asset to our community, and even if I don't reply to your comments all the time, do know that I read them and I learn from them. So thank you so much, Marcus, and I really do appreciate it, dude. So some pros for Rain, he's gonna have a free weapon. He's the first self-enmity tank. He has high magic resist, and he's gonna be the first magic tank. He's gonna have excellent offensive capability. He's gonna pair well with magic units. He has a fire unit. He has 25% resistance to magic, 15% resistance to missile. He's not time limited. He has magic reflex and high HP. So cons, he can only wear hat and cloth armor. You'll need to climb tower for his weapon. He does have a higher skill cap than most units, so I would say he's not as high as Gilgamesh or Whisper, but I do think that he is still a higher skill cap. He is going to be very weak to physical and weak to blunt. And without that slash resistance, you are going to have to watch out for units like Orlando, because without innate defense or without any armor for slash resistance, he is going to be very susceptible to units like Orlando, or as Marcus said, to the future Blingstern. Overall, I like Rain, but I don't think he is a must-have unit. And if I had to choose between Rain or Warrior of Light, I would choose Warrior of Light immediately. Does that mean I think you shouldn't pull? I mean, that's a tough call. Personally, I'm going to be pulling for Rain, and I think he could definitely have his shining moment in Global right now with all of the missile units, and I think he could be pretty good right now. However, I think in the long run, Warrior of Light is probably just going to be a better unit. Do remember, guys, if you are going to be pulling on the banner, please do use my affiliate link for Amazon coins. It is one of the best ways to support me. It is in the description, and it is dig.gs/coins. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, drop a comment down in the YouTube comments. Marcus is probably going to post there, so please reply to his post. Let him know that we appreciate him and we like him. And finally, come join our Discord. We are, oh, well, not finally. We are a great community there, and come join us on stream. That's the finally. I stream every night except for Mondays and Thursdays, and I will be streaming tonight from 8 p.m. to midnight, and I hope to see a lot of you guys there. Thanks so much, and have a great rest of your day, guys.